I don't even remember how to start these things. Oh boy, here we're doing a podcast special. We're back for one episode. I'm not doing this again. Editing these really suck. No, so I wanted to do this one because a big thing has happened. We're doing a Decays II. It's coming. It's here. The boys are back in town. Plus Alyssa. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. I'm joined today by Alyssa Heyer and Luke Sobolevitch, who play Azalea Orion and Matthew Lawton. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Let's
Little
see. Go.
sick.
Wait, what? So I did not hear you.
Oh no, yeah, dude, I'm chilling.
All right.
Need to take a nap at some point, but I'm doing good.
Is it like the end of the day? Shouldn't you just go to bed?
Nah, dude, it's 8 o'clock. Aren't you in Central Time?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. over here.
Yeah, no, I just took like a 6 hour nap, and now I'm just like I'm out of it. But
That's not a nap. 6 hours is a sleep, and not a nap.
sleep cycle. I still have the chains
The
on.
dog tags.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the trailer. As of recording this, the trailer has dropped yesterday. Did you guys get a chance to watch it? And
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
well, what do you think? Is it getting you hyped up for this grueling movie that we're gonna be shooting in a couple months?
Yeah, no, man. If anything, it's just making me more excited. Like, this has just been such a long project for you, just like brainstorming or whatever, that like we've heard about it since like freshman year. And then it's like finally the trailer comes out, and like the month you were down here just with me, like shooting stuff. I'm excited for May. Like, I can finally say like that's like the one thing I'm doing this summer that like I'm totally down for. Uh, Hopefully we're like gonna make something special, you know?
It's gonna be very intense because we only have 3 weeks to do it. So I anticipate a lot of like, wake up, go shoot, come back, work on choreo, edit, go to sleep, repeat. Um, it's gonna be crazy to have you guys out here where we shot the first film. Um, have you guys seen the first film? I know Alyssa, you have, right? So, but I know you watched it. You watched bits and pieces of it.
No, I watched it through again. I just for like storyline and background. I've like started like trying to like finally like figure out like who Lawton's gonna be. So I watched the first film just to kind of logistically see like who you are as a character and whatnot. Um, it's also a terrific film. You should go check it out if you're listening to this and haven't seen it yet.
I don't know why you would be listening to this if you haven't seen the first one. um, so I kind of want to hear you guys talk about your respective characters, and I guess Alyssa, we could start with you since you're the lead in this one. It's not Bigby anymore, thank God. um, so yeah, what are your thoughts on your character? Because you actually played her before in the first film.
Yeah, I definitely like reading the script of the second one. Like I'm really excited to like because in the first movie, obviously, like I had one scene, and so I didn't like know where she was gonna go. I didn't have a lot of like background on her character. So like I'm super excited to like flesh out what I got from the post credit scene. Because she definitely has like a big thing ahead of her. Like I mean, like it's kind of like Big B's journey, but kind of like reversed in a way, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm really she has a very like big personality, and I'm like very excited to step into the boots of her character and like see where the movie takes her.
Yeah,
She
I'm very
definitely
excited to see
goes
where you
through
take
a
her.
lot of shit. So
Oh, listen, I think if you're living in this in this world that we've crafted, you're gonna go through some shit. I don't think there's a character who like got off easy. Um, no, I'm very excited to see you take on this character, mostly because I'm not in it all that much. um, which I guess is something I do want to talk about for people listening to this. Yes, Bigby is in Decays too, but not a lot. I don't anticipate shooting too much with him. But I don't want that to turn people off because Azalea is an amazing character, and I don't want you to be like, oh, Bigby's not in it. Nah, you know, 'cause, I mean, he is, and I don't know. A lot of people got attached to him in the first film, but we were doing something very interesting with his character, which some people might not agree with and or like, but for me as the writer and the actor behind him, it felt like a natural progression. Like this is where he would end up, which is with how the first film ended. And so I guess going into the second film, I want you guys to keep an open mind on how things are gonna pan out, I guess. So Sobo, so how what are your thoughts on Lawton?
Yeah, I don't know. We talked about it a lot. Just like when I'm like kind of imagining Lawton right now, like I was watching this show called Venture Bros, which is it's like an old Cartoon Network thing, and it's about this Johnny Bravo-esque like ex-military guy. Um, is just like the absolute dude, but like he's not like an asshole. He's nothing like that. But I'm excited to see where I can go when it comes to like it's like a character that I can very well imagine myself playing because he speaks with a twang. Like his dialogue, like he does have like a twang to his voice. He's very much like Southern roots, Southern hospitality. But yeah, I shaved for just the mustache just to see what it would look like. Where I'm like, is like Lawton the guy in a zombie apocalypse like shave with a knife just to keep the stash? Like, that's something I was thinking about when I was like looking in the mirror, and I'm like, absolutely. If Brandon will let me do that.
Look, if that's where you want to take it, you can feel free.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking about growing this out until we start shooting and see how long I can get it. Yeah, and then maybe we could do like a couple shots with me just like scraping off like some shit with my knife and
Do like some CG hair or something falling down, even just real hair. Just a whole like 5-minute sequence of that just in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, just like we'll remake the Tom Petty scene from the last one, but with me shaving for 2 minutes. That's great. No, but it's cool because another thing is like Alyssa and I, we've acted together a little bit in school. So I'm interested to see how like we're gonna get along with like these two characters because we did a scene from a play called The Dark at the Top of the Stairs, which I thought was really good. But it was a very different relationship than the one we're gonna have in this script. So
Very different.
I want to be very vague about this. I want to talk about the story a little bit, because I think I also kind of want to preface how this kind of started. So towards the end of the first, when developing the first film, I was like, more likely than not, we're not gonna do a second one. Like this is gonna be it. But in the event that we do, I want to like lay the groundwork for it and set it up, which is why I wrote the Azalea scene and then added in the Lawton scene. But I guess I always kind of knew I was gonna do another one because if you don't know, Decays was a story I wrote in middle school and then rewrote in high school, and Lawton and Azalea are huge characters. And in the early development of the first film, I was like, should I just do Lawton and Azalea and all these other characters? But I was like, no, save that for later. And so then came in Norman and Steven. So I guess I kind of always knew we were doing it. But then I guess my gears kind of shifted because I was like, I only want to do it if the story is right, which is what I said in our podcast, Alyssa, a couple months ago. But the really funny thing about that is at the time of recording that podcast, we fully knew Decays II was happening.
Yeah.
So it was just us lying for about an hour and a half, essentially. Yeah. But I really like the story for this one because I feel like the first film, it was basically finding light in the darkness that we saw with BABYYY. And now with 2, it's very much the reverse. It is losing that light to the darkness. And I guess what are your What are your guys' thoughts on that, and how are you gonna portray that as these characters, obviously being non-spoilery as possible? Um, how do you feel about portraying that kind of message for this second outing?
I think that it kind of comes through in the. Can I say the dialogue? It's pretty general.
Yeah.
I think you just find it as like character development goes on, whereas like the last one was so individual. Um, the more time that happens since the initial outbreak to like right at the moment that we're filming, um, in that context, like I think it's just natural that once you get to the initial part to sustain surviving, like you have to get just uglier and uglier and uglier. Um, and it's interesting to think that like as an actor, um, when it comes to like I don't know if there's like there are events that of course like talk about like just they just make the entire scenario they're brutal and they're very dark. Um, and as an actor, like there's not just like one moment where you're just like, oh, my character needs to be like super pissed off now. Wow, he hates the world. But it's just like a very consistent descent into hell because the world that they're living in is hell. I don't know. It's something that's just gonna have to happen with like chemistry and like acting. But it'll happen. Like it's a brutal film. Like I guess like cinematically is that's also a big thing that we need to really get like down and pointed in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of going off of that, I think that it's a very nice transition because like realistically every human has both. You know what I mean? Like every human has like a lightness and a darkness to them, and an event always like in your lifetime at some point will spark that darkness. And obviously we begin the film with at least for my character Azalea, like both of my brothers have been murdered. So like that is like the initial spark, and the fact that that happens at the beginning. And I mean, really, with all the characters throughout the movie, like you just kind of see that transition of like events happening and causing people to go more and more towards the darker side, or like realize like the evil within themselves, if that makes sense. So I'm excited to play into that, like because throughout the entire movie, like it's a prolonged experience. It's not just one thing, it's many things over time that like lead to that eventual like darkness. So I think that's really going to be a lot of fun to play around with.
You brought up a great thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that the more specifics about the story. So again, spoilers for the first Decays, but also if you haven't seen it, why are you listening to this? Um, First Decay shows my character and the other characters as played by Jesse and Thaddeus Allen killing Sean and Richard O'Ryan, who are Azalea's brothers. And that's essentially where the film ends. Norman dies, Richard's dead, and Bigby goes off on his own. And so yeah, in the second film will now be told from Azalea's perspective, as it is essentially a manhunt for Bigby. And yeah, both of these characters are delving into this darkness. Bigby was already kind of there, and Norman and Steven more or less like brought him back. But then he lost them. And so now I am intrigued yet terrified to see exactly what his like mindset's gonna be in this film. Because he was always written to be a really just fucked up character, I'd say. And he's gone through a lot of trauma with the loss of his wife and son, and now he's just like kind of there's a line in the first film where Steven talks about since like wanting to not survive but to live, and survival is all that Bigby really knows. That's because he has the weight of the promise that he made to his wife in her last moments that he would survive. And so I'm very interested to explore how that's messing with him psychologically, as he has all this weight on his shoulders. But something we also kind of talked about in our podcast together, Alyssa, was how similar these characters are, and just because they've both gone through very similar events, and so I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Who knows if this will happen or not? But whenever it comes down to Bigby versus Azalea, I'm very interested to see where audiences are going to lie in terms of who they're rooting for. Essentially, Team Lawton.
Team Lawton.
So my friend Sam Keeney, he was helping proof the script and everything, and I asked him, I was like, so you read it, so like what would you be? Would it be Team Bigby or Team Azalea? He's like, well, honestly, probably Team Lawton. Like, he loves Lawton.
Freaking, I'm sick, dude. I'm literally sick.
You have a fucking assault rifle, it's so badass.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. Like, literally, one of the first things I say is, "Hey, I'm Matthew Lawton. Don't call me Matthew, call me Lawton, because I'm not a Bible boy." And it's like, man,
Good.
So cool.
I love Lawton. He was a character, again, I mentioned it earlier, but he was a character I always wanted to bring in at some point. And I think originally he wasn't gonna have a little cameo in the first film, but I was like, I need him in this. He was one of my favorite characters to write in the originals, and so I'm very excited to see what you do with him when it comes to this film. I guess what we could talk about now is, what are your guys' expectations for filming this thing in May?
I have zero expectations, dude.
Yeah, same.
Honestly, I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna do it because I'm happy to do it. And I think generally, like, I feel like us three specifically, have really started like buying into like, all right, if we're gonna do this, like, let's make this a well-made film. Just because it furthers our careers and like it's a good like starting foundation. But you're the boss man, bro. Like, if I'm going to Mount Rushmore, I'm going to Mount Rushmore at 5 a.m. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I don't anticipate a lot of super early days because I'd imagine we're going to be going pretty late into the night. I think in the script there is like 2 scenes in the morning. So that's about 2, maybe 3 days of us actually having to get up early. But no, I want it. It's going to be, so again, we're filming it within 3 weeks. And it is going to be pretty packed and a little bit stressful, but I still want it to be fun, Like, you guys are flying out to fucking South Dakota to shoot a movie, Like, I want that to be like, that was sick, and not, fuck, that sucked, So, like, first couple days you guys are here, or maybe like the first day or something before we really jump into it, is just going to be, hey, this is Mount Rushmore. This is the Black Hills. This is everything South Dakota has to offer. Now let's get to the gross part of the state so we can make it look like an apocalyptic hellhole. No, it's going to be crazy, and I'm very excited. We have you two, of course, coming out, and then we have Alex Shaw, who's playing Azalea's boyfriend, John, who, by the way, completely wet on the guitar in that teaser.
That was so like, it was like how it like went into like the full music. Like at first it was just like the scene. Yeah, no, that made it.
I also
I'm still not. Bro.
Yeah, you haven't. I've been trying to get you two to meet for like months now.
Yeah, I haven't met Shaw, dude. He's like the wettest guitar player ever, and I haven't met him, and that makes me mad.
But I actually talked to Alex a couple days ago, and it sounds like he is going to be doing the original score for the movie as well.
Hell
so
yeah.
It's gonna be legit. And of course we have some others flying out as well. Like Sam's gonna be coming out. It's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be such a vibe. And it's gonna be so crazy. Like, I feel like we're just gonna be like on like the downtime, just like here at my place, just kind of chilling, and then just snap into these dark ass characters when we're actually out and about. And I've been location scouting, and a lot of the places where we are going to be shooting are absolutely gorgeous, and a lot are just completely run down buildings that I just happened to cross. No, it's gonna be a lot, and I'm very excited. I'm also glad I don't have to take the brunt of it this time. Alyssa, you will be lightening my load because the first film I was writer, director, lead, editor, all that shit. So yeah, I'm gonna let you take that pressure this time. For you guys, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about your respective characters. Mine's the eye patch because it fucks up my depth perception.
I don't think. I just like the badassery of Lawton is just like so many different ways you go with that. Like just the idea that like his character could like be a potential like if he's done right, he could be like a show stealer. Like he's written very well. My least favorite aspect of him maybe is he might be like a little bit more dry than I am, as you both know very well. So it's gonna be funny to have to like snap into like, oh, like I ate packs of dip in my lip when I'm like running around like pissing y'all off and like making just terrible jokes. Then to have to go like, oh, I'm military, like I'm sniper military. But other than that, I think I'll really figure it out like once I start acting with him. Just be like, I can't believe I did that, or wow, like that works really well with this character.
Yeah, I think for Azalea, I think my favorite and least favorite thing kind of coincide a little bit. My favorite thing about her is definitely that like she is not prepared for the role that she's given when her brothers die, and she really steps into it, and she does everything that she can to like go after the people like Bigby and like Norman and Steven, like the people that killed her brothers, and she will do anything and everything to like protect the people she loves while also getting revenge. But I think like in that, my least favorite thing about her is that like she definitely, once she gets in that state, she has tunnel vision. Like nothing else is important to her. Like that is the only thing that she puts her mind on, and she can't like allow any other decision to be the one that she makes other than the one that she originally makes. So I guess like that, both of those things coincide with each other, but like they're like specific things.
I guess I'd say you guys are probably more how do I word this? I was gonna make real smart about this, but I think I'll just talk random. I think you guys are much better actors than I am, and so I don't think. Hopefully, you won't run into an issue. Quit shaking your fucking heads. Hopefully, you guys won't run into it. Because I ran into an issue while playing Bigby, or I guess after I played Bigby, is that I did the no thing, and I kind of bled the two worlds together, and so I was kind of fucked up for a while after playing Bigby. For like a couple weeks after we wrapped shooting, I was just like constantly on edge, like all the time, and I always felt like something bad was just looming, and it was like awful. And then it took me all to get out of it. I was like, holy hell, I need to separate a bit more, because I kind of let myself really delve into that rabbit hole talking in this voice for so goddamn long. So yeah, hopefully you guys, I don't think it's be much of an issue for you, Luke, because I don't think Lawton gets too twisted, but Azalea definitely. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Pulled a little bit of a Heath Ledger, you know.
I know, right? So something else big happened while I was doing like my countdown to the announcement, and the first film hit 80,000 views on YouTube, which is crazy. And so I seeing that and knowing I was going to do this podcast with you guys, I wanted to bring in some special guests to discuss that as well.
Hello.
And Thaddeus and Jesse Allen have just joined the call.
No way. They're the dudes. Those are the guys.
Going well. How about yourselves?
It's good, brother. Sick.
All right, Thaddeus, I just saw you today. What's going on?
Going all right. Just you caught me right before. Well, basically, I lost track of time and I was watching Princess and the Frog with Jace.
Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, I told you what time we were doing this.
Yeah.
Sobo, you haven't met these guys before, right? I think
Nah,
you might have.
dude.
Yeah, okay.
They look like chillers already, so I'm down, dude. Down to shoot, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, Jesse, Thaddeus, I was just talking to these guys about it, but Decays is at 80,000 views. I think we're at 81 actually. When we were shooting that, did you think that was going to happen?
Me personally, no. I thought it was just gonna be like a local type thing, and maybe some people from California since you're down there. But I didn't think it was gonna get 81,000. Not even close.
Likewise, I was thinking that was just gonna be like mostly friends, and hopefully those friends would share it. But I did not think it would get this big.
It really blew up in the Philippines, which I think is really cool and funny.
Oh yeah.
And so I guess this could be a question for everyone. I may or may not have asked any of you this before. What were your initial thoughts when I approached you about this idea? Like, hey, zombie movie. You in? Let's have the OGs go first, and then we'll bring it into the new cast.
I guess I'll start. Yeah, when you first told me about doing Decays, I feel like I was totally down. I'm always down to be in projects and everything. Acting, I love acting. It's fun, and being part of your movies, they're always great. And Decays was the first film of yours that actually had like a major role in, so I was actually really excited. I guess my biggest question was just like, how are we gonna do like all the decays, and how are we gonna do the blood and all of that? But I mean, you definitely covered all that, and I was pretty pleased in how we did it, and it came together. It came together, that's for sure.
I acted in just Blue Phoenix, those series, but that was just simply me acting as myself. In Decays, it was like the first one where I actually had to act like someone I'm not. It's a person that not really what I'm usually am. So it was a pretty fun role. Not to mention, when we actually had the screening, it was actually an awesome experience because it was just like, hey, we came together, we made an awesome movie that is pretty awesome for like the budget that we had. So it was all out awesome experience.
We made people cry when you got your head caved in.
That is very true.
I think Alyssa, I approached you before I approached Sobo about this.
Yeah, I don't remember how long ago did you, because it was pretty early on.
It was like the first film. I think we'd even start filming yet.
Yeah.
But I knew that early on that Azalea was going to be in it in some capacity. So
yeah, you sent me I think you sent it at first, like just as like, hey, like I have another project, like, are you interested? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, what's she like? And you started talking about how she's kind of villainous. And then I got really intrigued because, I had already been cast as Avery, and Avery's like kind of similar to my personality type. So this was like a really big opportunity for me to like be like really someone I'm not, like villainous, like in this whole apocalyptic universe. So that was just really intriguing to me because I think that at least from like the things that I've seen in art, like villains are just so fun to play because they have so much texture. Like they're not just evil, they're evil for a reason. So I think I was like just genuinely like really excited to be able to play like a character like Azalea because she really like intrigued me from the first character description you gave me. And then when the movie came out, that just like enhanced it because I saw the story and I saw like, oh shit, like this is what I'm going to be dealing with, like this like whole world of evil but like light. And yeah, the movie just like made me even more excited to be Azalea.
I was a little bit sketch Whip, I'm gonna be honest, man. He was because I've never been like the biggest fan of zombie movies, but I think the reason for that was because I had never seen like terrific acting in a zombie movie or a zombie series. And, like I stopped watching like The Walking Dead after season 4, so it's whatever. But yeah, man, this is kind of a props to you. Just like as we were in class, I would just see you like saying like F you to the schoolwork, and you were just writing your script 24/7. I'm like, that's an incredible work ethic. Like I love to work with the guy who does that. And then as we got closer, we were like kind of working on your script. I'm like, this is a great dialogue with some of these characters. And then like the first film did so well, and like it's only gonna get better. So I'm really excited for the product that we're gonna put out. I'm really excited to see what like we can do creatively as actors. And yeah, just like as somebody who's also like trying to be in the entertainment industry, like I think this will only make us get better. And yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'm very, very excited for it.
Yeah, I've always that's always been my mindset in terms of this whole industry is I don't want to like hold out for that big CW role, you know, like I'll get it one day. Like I would like in the if while I'm sitting here, let's do our own shit, you know? Let's get it out there so we can get better as actors and directors and everything. And just like so by the time if that big call does come, we'll be ready for it, you know? That's why I always like doing my own little Some D Productions movies. So I have a big question that as soon as I knew I was bringing in Jesse and Thaddeus, I wanted to ask. So you guys shot the first film for about maybe it was like a month and a half. I think we shot. Do you have any advice for Luke and Alyssa when it comes to filming?
I guess, I mean, in all honesty, like me personally, my advice is just like be as ready as you can be, and sometimes the weather can be crazy, so get ready for weather conditions. But hey, we still filmed through it, and I mean, I don't know if you guys have experienced Brandon's crazy filming, but one night we were up till like 2 a.m. filming.
It was like 3 actually, I think.
Was it 3? Okay, yeah, 3 a.m. Even worse. But no, like in all honesty, like I'd say like I could see it in you guys. You guys have that desire. You guys love acting, and I feel like as long as you just have that heart and willing to put your all into it. And my biggest problem, Brandon can definitely attest to this, is I did not memorize my lines good enough. So in future projects, if I'm ever with Brandon again, I will definitely
never.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so before you guys get rejected from future projects, make sure you memorize. Oh man, but yeah, that's
in the words of Whipple, fuck memorizing. I wrote that shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That stabbed me in the back because then I couldn't remember my shit when we were shooting that project. But anyway. All right, Thaddeus. I know. I prepped you for this question earlier, so I'm expecting a godly answer.
Well, relatively speaking, like when Brandon, as he put it, prepped me for this answer, I told him that BK's was an interesting thing because, like I said, I was originally just playing myself for Blue Phoenix, just a little bit more exaggerated on just the energy and the happiness and all that. Like, I'm not that energetic, but for Decays, I had to go a completely different route where I'm more mellow, but yet still hopeful. But that's just like what my perspective. And in short, like Decays had to push me to look at through another person's eyes, become almost kind of like another person. I know that's like kind of stereotypical for actors and all that, because they say, hey, once the camera goes on, you're a new person. But that's honestly kind of what it felt like. And it's an awesome experience. And I guess you gotta say that you gotta be prepared for those moments, because once that camera goes on, you're gonna go into like a new idea, new mindset. And that's just a fun experience to go through. And hey, who knows, maybe you can learn from the experience, and maybe that can help you more as you go into further acting and so on and so forth. And hopefully if Brandon lets me join anything else, I can use those skills a little bit further. In short, Yeah, just enjoy the ride because it's constantly evolving. Brandon's work is constantly.
You mentioned something earlier that I think I really wanted you to touch on, is that really playing on that
Insanity.
the insanity and that hopelessness of the universe.
Oh yeah. Another thing is that I had to think of it from the perspective of Steven, where basically the whole world is gone. There's no hope. Almost there's no hope for anything to go back to normal. Some people accept this, and like Norman, he accepted it very easily, very quickly, and he just knew that he had to help his brother survive. Big B, he just simply chose to survive just because he went through some hard times. And then there's Steven, where he is the person who accepts survival but still hopes for that small amount of just like freedom and the small amount of having a chance to actually live and make things normal. But the problem with that is that when I got in that mindset, I got to thinking, man, I feel bad for Steven because there's almost no chance in that becoming possible. The world is sure it's getting worse, but I also held on to the perspective that even though the world was worse during that time, it doesn't mean that you can't just simply lose hope, because even in your darkest moments, there's always just that little bit of hope in the midst of just so much bad in the world, I guess you could say. And that could apply to multiple aspects of life, but I'm not going too deep.
Yeah, like Steven definitely had this hopefulness to him. Even like in the final scene before he dies, he was still very hopeful about everything, which I think is why his death was so heartbreaking to a lot of people. That's something I would try to play on as well. It's just the overall everything's fucked, nothing matters type of deal. Anyway, yeah, I'm coming up with these questions on the spot, by the way. But Luke and Jesse, so you guys have a very interesting. Your characters have a very interesting relationship. So my question for you guys is, how do you think they were pre-apocalypse? Because obviously they were buddies in the army, and I guess, is it weird to have your character be so at their roots involved with another character, yet never have a scene together?
Yeah, hold on. My roommate's being loud. I'll answer that in 5 seconds.
All right, Jesse, I guess you could.
Okay. Hold on. Could you repeat the last part of that question again? Sorry.
So basically, what's it like having a character so deep rooted in your character? Like, because obviously we even talked about Lawton in the first film and your guys' friendship in the army, yet you'd never have a scene together.
Yeah, like it was definitely, I don't know, like we never had a scene together, but I thought it was like the thought of it just kind of fascinated me though. It's like I mean, for me, like personally, like I know some people that have served in the military and stuff, and like who when they think of their comrades or like their fellow mates that they're serving with, that's basically their family. Because to be honest, like people in the military, they spend more time with their buddies and with their fellow comrades more than their family most of the times. So like in all honesty, like when I think of that relationship, I honestly think it's like we were best buds and we were basically brothers, looking out for each other, and we had each other's backs. And that's kind of like what I always had thought. And like when I would talk about Lawton, that's just kind of like the viewpoint I've had about Lawton. So yeah, that's my viewpoint on it.
Yeah, I also think that just like, I mean, obviously, like as an actor, like I'm taking you into account because like when you were acting, you never got the chance to like see like who Lawton was in person. Or else I have an entire movie of Jesse acting. And first off, I thought you were great, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know, maybe I'll grow a sick beard in your But yeah, man, it's definitely an account because Lawton is such like an unknown, like a wild card that like it's really only like that's the only exposition you really get of him. So a lot of what I'm taking like into how I'm gonna play this character is kind of based off of like Jesse's performance. Um, but yeah, just never having a scene with him is kind of weird. But I think that just shows how like how individual like the storyline is. You know, like it's so complex that like there's all these little like details and it just adds to the universe as a whole. It makes it a better film.
Jesse, are you wearing a Sunday production shirt?
I am. Represent.
I guess I might cast you in something else. I don't know. Just quit wearing this shit. Alyssa, I was gonna talk to you about this like just off air or whatever, but I guess I could do it now. Because I talked about having all this weight on my shoulders as Brandon did the person in terms of the lead and everything. Are you putting weight on your own shoulders in terms of being the new lead in this film? Or you just chill about it?
Here's the thing. Yeah. So like I'm a substitution actor. So like everything that Azalea goes through, I will put myself into the mindset of that happening to someone close to me. So that will be rough because I already have certain people or certain events that have already happened in mind that I'm going to use for my character in certain scenes. I think we all know which scene I'm talking about. That's going to be the hardest. But I already have like a specific thing that I'm, oh my God, Sobo. Yeah, I'm gonna hung in, love her. But yeah, so I'm gonna try my best to keep it just when we're filming. Because I know that was like such a difficult thing for you to like let go of, like you were in that like state for like weeks afterwards. And I feel like that's something that like substitution can kind of do, because once you think about that certain thing happening, it's kind of hard to get your mindset out of that. But I mean, we're like, I will do it for the movie, you know what I mean? Like if it's a couple of weeks where I'm feeling like, oh my God, are there gonna be zombies like after COVID? Like then I'll do that, like just so I can immerse myself fully into the character. I think that it's worth it. So yeah, hopefully I'm not too messed up after the movie, but I think it'll be fine. I think we'll all be good.
I think how I've structured the entire production process for this movie is so different compared to the first, because the first film was originally released in parts. We split it up amongst 8 parts and released those weekly. And those did okay, you know, like whatever. But then when we released the I guess the Whipple cut, that's the one that went huge. That's the one that went huge, and so I was like, we're just gonna skip straight to that for this one. There's not gonna be Decays II part 1 or whatever, and it's just gonna be one probably 2-hour movie just based on what the script is looking like so far, possibly more. So there might also be a Whipple cut for this movie depending on how it goes, if it's like dumb long. But we'll see. Because we're shooting all in May and June. Then we're not releasing until October, because unlike the first film, there are some shots in this which are going to require pretty heavy visual effects that might take a while to do. And plus, with now having an original score and everything, it's going to take Alex some time. But I guess so. I get what is the main thing you guys are looking forward to in terms of filming this movie, and then the thing you're kind of like dreading? Alyssa, I think I know your answer for that one, but
Yeah, I'm not dreading the hours, but it's definitely gonna be a beat down. Especially in my costume or my outfit. I'm gonna be sweating like a pig, dude. And then
Jesse knows a lot about that with his
yeah,
jacket.
yeah. I think you can hear my rooster playing Madden, but No, the one thing that I'm really looking forward to is I think just like this entire thing like is just for like the final product. Like I'm so excited for it because like I know um that we can just like the first film was great, of course. We can make this film so good. You know what I mean? With like better production, we have like a lot more like resource, a lot more availability. And then like also like we work together like a little bit, and then like you and I are very close, of course. He sleeps on my couch for a month, a year. Uh, but yeah, I'm kind of just excited to like laugh a little bit and like bully Alyssa, which is what I do all the
Oh
time.
my God. I'm not. That's my thing that I'm the most nervous about is so fucking bullying
Shut
me.
up. Ew. Ew.
Damn.
Wow.
Already getting started. It's March. Oh my God. Do you want me to go or do you want me to like do you have
Yeah.
something? Okay. Well, I guess the thing that I'm least excited. I'll start with like, yeah, least excited. So I guess, yeah, I think like there's a certain scene that I'm very nervous about, just for like emotional state purposes, but we won't go into that.
Right. Yeah.
But I think honestly, other than that, my least favorite thing that I'm worried about is I don't wear jeans. I wear leggings and sweatpants and shorts, and like having to wear like jeans being my costume. And like I don't know, like sweating in jeans, like having to like sprint and like run in them. I don't know. Yeah. So I guess that's my least favorite thing that I'm excited for. But I'm most excited. I think Sobo, you kind of touched on this, but like just being together with all of us and like the whole cast and like getting to know all of you better. Sobo, Brandon, I feel like I already know you pretty well, but I feel like there's also like more to know and like more experiences to have. So I think it's gonna be like a really cool opportunity to be doing something that we all collectively like the five of us and like more people like working on this, doing what we love, but also like getting to know each other and like having that fun like friend experience at the same time. So I'm really excited for that.
We're all gonna be so tight by the end of this shooting.
100%.
It's funny. You brought up the jeans thing, and I never realized that because I remember when we shot the teaser, I was kind of like looking at you. I was like, "There's something off. Like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? There's something that's not." It just now occurred to me that it was the jeans. You don't wear jeans, okay?
Or jeans.
We're just gonna switch it. Azalea just rocking some sweats the entire movie,
yeah.
like zero, like badass like top, and then just.
Oh my God. No, I'll wear the jeans. I have to wear jeans for work anyway. I'm used to it.
Okay.
What about like a snuggie? Like
What?
like Azalea, like when the zombies hit, she was in a snuggie. So like
Oh my God, yeah. Just picking up this, like just running
it. Something that we haven't really touched upon at all is the actual zombies in the film. So I know from experience that in the BABYYY chase scenes, I was absolutely terrified on set when they were chasing me, and so I didn't have to fake anything at all because it was genuinely terrifying. Like Jesse had like half of his face missing and was like hauling ass behind me, and so, and Alyssa, you shot some scenes with zombies last month. Did you experience anything similar?
Yeah, because Jonathan like made it a point to try and catch me. Like he was like didn't even care that we were filming something where like I couldn't be caught in the teaser because I can't die right then and there, but he was like, no, I'm gonna do everything I can to catch her. So I was like full on like sprinting away because I mean all three of them were just like making these terrifying noises behind me, but Jonathan was really the one that was like super competitive about it, and he was like, no, I'm gonna catch her. So I think like with more people it's gonna be even way more terrifying, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, that shot was so sick. The teaser, the little pan like throughout the like graffiti. I love that shot.
There's one scene in Decays II where we are going to have the biggest herd of zombies that we've ever done. And that's gonna be so fucking scary. I think even Thaddeus, I don't know if you remember this, there was a point where we weren't even shooting anything and you were chasing me.
But yeah, I remember that was actually in the bloopers, and you were actually genuinely terrified, and that was funny to me, and I apologize for
It was very funny. I think you mastered that zombie run. So every time you come just booking it at someone and with that run, it's super fucking scary. And who knows? You guys might have to watch out for a Thaddeus cameo in the next film as a zombie. So who knows? So this is a question I thought of 30 minutes ago, and I've made it a point to remember this one. What do you think, you guys, Luke, Thaddeus, Jesse, Alyssa, would you survive in the Decays apocalypse?
no. I'm sorry, but like to actually okay, so first off, you guys survived multiple zombies for one thing, just multiple decays. And then the other thing is you gotta have the sociopathic mindset where you can distance yourself from killing a human being, a literal human being who looks and acts like you. But the only difference is that they want to kill you, and you most likely do not want to kill people. So unless I did not see myself surviving, so probably not. Unless I can run, in which case maybe.
I think I have to say yes, just like for my character. I'm also very good at like being alone. I don't know how depressing that sounds, but yeah, I feel like me, if I was gonna do it like strategically or like logistically, I could definitely just like I feel like I could find an area in town where I would have like access to like food and water and like I can entertain myself for hours. I don't know, like I'd be screwed if I got involved into like the person versus person kind of stuff, you know. But a zombie apocalypse, it's possible as long as I'm not stupid about it.
Alyssa, I'll answer for you. You wouldn't.
Excuse me. I was gonna say that I would survive for a little bit, at least. I wouldn't die right off the bat.
No, you're done within a couple minutes of it happening.
What? If my family was in danger, I would kill 100 decays for them. But if they die, I die. Like if my family and the people that I care about die, then like I have nothing. Like I could never be BABYYY. I could never like continue going on after like my family and my friends and all them passed away. But like if I have someone to fight for, I will probably not kill any decays. I'll die on the first one, but I'll do my very damn best to do that. But yeah, you're right. I probably wouldn't survive very long.
Alyssa's the type of person who would hold a door open for a decay. But
Stop. I know I would.
one of those automatic doors, like you're just like, come in.
Yeah.
I can totally see you being like the stereotypical like first kill in any movie, like they see a zombie, it's like, oh, are you okay? And then you just get got.
No, dead ass. Like literally, so many people. They were like, "Oh, you want to be an actress?" They were like, "Oh my god, you know, it'd be so funny if you were like the blonde girl that always dies first in horror movies." And I was like, "Fuck you!" Like, okay, like, stereotyping me right off the bat. But yeah, no, I wouldn't. You're
To be
right.
fair, you and I both stereotype Jonathan pretty hard in what we cast him in.
That's true. That's true. I'm not casting Jonathan as the person in mind, though. I refuse.
You did give him the socially awkward person for your one directing scene, right?
Yeah. That's not fair. he actually like does get the girl. Like they actually end up together. Like they're, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Oh.
and they're both socially awkward. So it was like,
Oh, he's still stereotyped him.
okay, whatever. I guess.
Jesse, what about you? Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
I've actually thought about like what I would do. Like, I don't know, like I've come up with like different ideas, but like in all honesty, it just kind of depends. Like, especially with like these like decays, like the story of these ones, like how they just like came out of nowhere. And like, I mean, if it was Walking Dead zombies, heck yeah, I'd survive easily. But like these decays, they're like sprinting, and like they don't tire. It seems like. So like, I feel like the only chance you'd have is like try to find high ground, and hopefully you have enough supplies, and then hopefully you can make it around like Big B does in the film, how he just kind of runs and hides and gets food and survives that way. Yeah, like I feel like I would do okay, but Alyssa, I'm kind of with you. Like if I didn't have much of a purpose, like I don't know, like I just feel like it. But at the same point, like I kind of have hopes like I would be kind of like Steven too, because I always thought about zombies as like, well, like zombies, they can't like reproduce or anything, like so as long as you keep on killing them, well, as long as you keep on killing them, they'll be less and less. So like parts of me has always had like a mind point like Steven too, is like, let's get a group together and then stick together and just kill them all, and then like go to a smaller town, and then like if they start coming into the town, you just go form as a group and you kill them again. And it's just that's what my thought was always kind of think about zombies, is like if you keep on killing them, then there's less and less. So that's my other thinking. I don't know, but so I would try to form a group. That would be my thing.
I think in 28 weeks later, they actually starved the zombies out.
Oh.
Like, yeah. Like they like lasted. I think the apocalypse only lasted like 15 weeks, and then the zombies all just starved out and died, and then the rest of the movie happens. But no, in terms of like when you just mentioned Big V trekking across the country and everything. So I went on a hike in those boots that I wore for the movie. Fucking Big V's a trooper, man, because I had blisters on my feet, and it was like a 2-mile hike. Like, this homie walked from Denver to South Dakota in these boots, and he was chilling. You see, in terms of surviving this decay apocalypse, I'm very much like, I'd like to say that I would, but I don't know if I would. I'd probably just do something like really stupid and get got. And I'd also be worried about, like the Harvey Dent quote from The Dark Knight, like if you live long enough, you see yourself become the villain or whatever that fucking quote was. But so I'd be worried about turning into like a Sean or a Richard as well, But yeah, okay, that's the question. So everyone would not survive except Sobo, basically. He'd just be chilling in his apartment playing the guitar.
I've been telling you I'm different. I've been telling you. Nobody listens.
All right. Before we begin the wrap-up process, does anyone have any questions for old Brandon? Throw whatever at me. If I want to dodge it, I won't.
I want to give you a hard question like you've been giving us. Just a little one, too. And I'm trying to think of one.
Yeah, throw one at me.
Can you answer like what are you most excited and like nervous about for this process? I don't know if you answered that one.
Ooh, I did not.
Yes.
So I am very excited to shoot with all of you, because I think we've definitely worked on smaller stuff before, but nothing this big. Like Alyssa, you and I shot a project that is currently unannounced, so we can't really say anything about it. We shot that. We shot various Hayden Harvey things. So you and I worked on that same project. We also shot some stuff for Christine. So I'm very excited to work with you guys more in a larger capacity. And then we're all going to be like under the same roof for 3 weeks. So I think it's going to be really chaotic. Like a good chaotic though. And I think the thing I'm most worried about are the expectations of this film, because there was a certain freedom with my other projects that aren't super huge, because I just really like churn out sequels or whatever and not really have to worry about much, but with Decays there is now a fan base behind it, and people are looking forward to this film. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been asked in the past since the first film came out, is Decays II coming? When's it coming? Blah, blah, blah. So there's all these expectations for it. I'm worried. I think with what we have and the script and the actors and everything, I think people will be very satisfied. Aside from like one scene, I think might throw some people. But so yeah, I guess I'm just most worried about letting people down, I guess, of not making the movie that they want, but also at the same time, there's like the same thing happened with WandaVision. Everyone had all these theories about the finale, and then they didn't come true, so people didn't like it because it wasn't what they wanted it to be. So going into this is what I've mentioned this, but there are some things that happen which I think people are going to be very iffy about, I think. But again, I feel like it's a natural progression for these characters. And so I think people are just going to have to get over it whenever they get to that. Or maybe they're just fully like, yeah, that makes sense. I like where that happened. You know, it could just be me fully psyching myself out about that, but you know, we'll see. One more question before we wrap up. I guess this would be for Luke and Alyssa. Maybe more Alyssa, just because Luke's seen the first film in chunks. Did the script for
bro.
All right. Did the script for this one, was it what you expected? Like, is this where you saw it going?
Is this a question for the both of us?
Yes, and I guess the Allens too, because I think you two have a very vague understanding of what the story is, and basically what happens. So I guess whoever wants to answer can.
I mean, no, like it's not about Bigby anymore, you know. So it's like it's just a completely different script. It's not a sequel. It's a different story, you know. So when people say like Decays II, like yeah, it is the second Decays, but I think of the first one more as an exposition, and the second one is kind of like where some of the really good like cinematic moments are gonna start. Yeah, and I don't want to say too much now because I feel like we go down a hole that you will not appreciate. Yeah,
I could always edit it out if it's too much, I think.
Nah, it's cool. It's just, I mean, a lot of the actions in the script are like they're completely original. Like yeah, the foundation is based off the first movie, but this like new movie, like new characters, new like emotions, new like character growth, new settings. Like this is gonna be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I definitely agree with Sobo. Like, it is a completely different story. Like, it does not like begin like I don't know how to describe it. It's just like this movie, like this is something new that we don't usually see with art. Like usually we see like one protagonist all the way through however many movies happen. But in this one, like you switch it. So there's a different protagonist, but like Bigby's still in it, but he's just not the main character. And you see like a whole different storyline. So it's definitely going to not be like, it wasn't what I expected. It's not going to be what audience expected, but it's going to be something new that people haven't experienced before. And I feel like people are going to appreciate that because they're not just seeing Bigby's story. They're seeing the entire world like be built out and see everyone's story. So I think that's something that like not only like all of us, I'm sure, appreciate, but the audience is going to appreciate as well. Like you are world building. You're not just basing the whole story off of one character, even though like that is like who we're going to follow, just not like mainly following them in the second film. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, no, I wasn't expecting the script, but I'm really excited because I read it and it's really fun.
It's all right, you know.
No, it's really good. I'm super excited.
Did the brothers have any input? Or are you guys chilling?
I do not have a copy of the script, so all I know is just brainstorm. So yeah, but from what I hear, it's going to be interesting, and I cannot wait to see how it pans out because it's no longer about Bigby, Norman, Steven. It is about it's going from another perspective, and I cannot wait to see that.
The three of them covered well, but I just know that, I mean, just talking with you, Brandon, I know like you've put a lot of preparation into this script, as you do with all your projects. Of course, you might try to make it the best as possible. And even with the props, I remember, man, Brandon, he was so excited about showing him all his props and everything. It's like, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. So we're definitely going to get a lot more props. It's going to look a lot better, and it's really going to be awesome. Because if there's one thing that Brandon always does, he tries to make the next film better than the last. That's for sure. So from what I've heard from him, I think the script is going to be amazing. And yeah, like it's taken a different perspective, but also it completes the first Decays as well, which I really love. It just kind of fills in the blanks of some parts that weren't covered in the first. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
The corner of my room is full with props. I have the foam lead pipe that Sobo broke in the last project we shot.
Oh my god.
Various guns, airsoft guns that have been painted to look legit. And yeah, we're stepping it up with this one for sure. Yeah, I do have one more question, but I think we've covered just about everything. So this is a question for the boys. Both myself and Alyssa cannot answer this question. Whose side are you on? Team Bigby or Team Azalea?
I should have known.
Well, I'm sorry, but like just being in the first movie, being with Bigby, and me knowing his story and his background, I'm gonna be with Bigby. But I don't know. We'll see until I see Decays II. So
we'll do a follow-up.
I'm being with Bigby's side for right now. That's all I'm saying.
Understandable.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I get it. It's okay.
Like Thaddeus said, I have not read the script fully, so I do not know the full story. So right now I am on Decays' side. I choose Decays. Maybe if we have a podcast after the film, I'll be able to choose then. I'll choose then, I'll promise.
So you've read the script, you know.
Someone's gonna say Team Lawton. He's not gonna pick one of us.
Well, yeah.
Ooh, never mind. I changed. I choose Team Lawton as well.
Yeah, let's go.
Heck yeah.
These the scripts. I'm Team Bigby. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's okay. Brandon's sister is Team Azalea, and I think that's like a really good
Brandon's sister's Team Lawton.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Brennan, tell her.
He has switched, yeah.
She switched?
Yeah.
I'm so hurt.
And she's such a big fan of Lawton. She got like this little aardvark like plush toy, and she named it Sobo.
That's so cute. I don't even care. I can't be mad at her. That's so adorable.
Well, Sam Keeney, I guess, is Team Azalea. So you got that. But see that? I guess we know who's winning the fight if we do fight.
Okay, you haven't given them the script yet, so they don't know any of my story.
So
they just think I'm a bitch from the last scene. Like,
Yeah.
Sobo's read the script. Yeah.
What?
So I said Sobo's read the script, so.
Okay, well. No, it's fine. Bigby's a great character. He's got a good arc. He's got a good.
They're both terrible people.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's highlighting like everyone's a terrible person in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Everyone has their moments.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about everything I wanted to cover in this. So thank you guys for joining me. This was a lot of fun. Thank the brothers for hopping in for a special appearance. And to the viewers / listeners, we have a lot of DK's content coming out within the next couple of months. I believe by the time this comes out, we will have announced the DK's Romero edition, which is the first film completely re-edited in black and white in that old 60s Romero style. And there is one I guess it's not a new scene, but it's a new shot in the movie. So you have to look out for that. What's up, Thaddeus?
I just have one question. Just like this
What's
isn't
up?
related to the topic, but were you serious about me coming back as a zombie? Because like that would totally be awesome. Even if it's just one, even if it's one small scene in Decays II, if I could just like be a zombie, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more free reign with it because we could fully just like do a lot of makeup on you.
Oh yeah, that's true. And well, actually, do you think Jesse? No, probably Jesse would probably be working. I don't think he'd be able to come down. Sadly,
No, probably.
Yeah. I'll be a zombie if I can.
Yeah, because I think you died twice in the first film, which I think is really funny. You died as Steve, and then you died as a zombie.
Oh yeah, I did. I got hit in the head by Norman. Jerk.
I shot you.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. We have the Romero edition coming out April 7th. So check it out. Look for the new shot somewhere in there. And also, by the time this goes up, our Indiegogo campaign should be live. So if you want to donate to the production of Decays II, you can. And there's different perks you can do. You could pay, I think it's like $25, and you get a signed poster and other stuff. And I think there's one of the perks is you get to cameo as a missing person poster. So go give that a look and help us make this film and make it as great as we can for you guys. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. This was a lot of fun, as I said. And I guess I'll see you when we shoot the thing.